5:30 on Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. Sporting my Merc shirt, carbo loading, because tomorrow is the Ephrata Gravel Gran Fondo. I don't know if there's going to be a podium, but it's going to be treated as a race. I'm sitting here in my spacious RV, hashtag not van life. My neighbor has a Cybertruck. I'm at the Ephrata campground and I'm getting ready for tomorrow's event. First event of the year. First reasonable gravel event in quite a while. Last time I did this event was probably 3 or 4 years ago, at least 4 years ago. And since then I've had all kinds of those, the heart issues. I've had all that kind of stuff. And so I'm not racing for the podium. I'm not racing for bragging rights. I'm not racing to beat my teammates. I got Gonzaga, my alma mater, on TV. Who needs a hotel? Who needs a restaurant? I got a frozen slab of Trader Joe's lasagna all ready to rock. I would usually cook. I do a lot of cooking. I do want to say that. I usually have something prepared, and I will say that this is a trial run at these types of videos, and in future videos, if things work out well and I realize that people actually give a shit other than, like 4 or 5 people wanting to, see what I'm up to or feeling sorry for me, I might prepare something a little bit more and show off that part of the racing element. But right now it's going to be a bag of salad and a frozen lasagna heated up from Trader Joe's. It's going to be no pressure in diet. Weather report is looking like 75% chance of some sort of rain right around start time at 9 a.m. So that is, if it was going to be raining longer or snowing longer, I will admit that the demons would start to creep into my head and I would probably just roll over in my sleeping bag and drive home a little later. But I think it's going to be okay. The wind's probably going to be about 10 to 15 miles per hour, depending upon which direction we're going in the race. And the course is about 85 miles and about just over 6,500 feet of climbing. So it's going to be a good dose, but nothing I don't think that's going to be too difficult to pull off. About 50% of the course is road. I think it's like 54 to 40 something in terms of road versus gravel miles. A lot of washout that's been happening here over the winter. So it's going to be a great first go at this season of distance. And so yeah. Now, don't judge me for all of you eating it like Olive Garden right now. It's the only Italian we can find in town. Yes, it has a lot of sodium. Yes, it probably isn't good for me. Yes, it might make me slower tomorrow. But I don't care. It's official. Oh, straight shit. I was about to take a huge right turn. See you guys later. Yeah. He was kind of pointing at an angle, wasn't he? Okay, I'm not insane. After the rain died down, things kind of started to settle in, which was pretty nice. But the thing about these fondos is that I noticed that it's a lot of basically just riding from group to group. You've got a lot of people who are kind of dead focused on keeping a pace, and then you've got certain types of riders who just always seem to be kind of wanting to attack. Sometimes farther back, I found myself with riders, like in this situation, I found myself with a good group of riders who were strong, but they never really wanted to work together with each other. A lot of them spend each other time. They'd get to the front, and it was almost like a micro attack of some sort, and they would just launch, and then you'd slowly bring them back in. Think next guy would happen. It would do something like that. Rain stop. Did you say 2/3 of it? Really? Don't put that on me. I'm dead. It's gospel. Yeah. Third count. beauty on this ride was absolutely incredible. You can see a lot of open plains and things like that, but then you get into these valleys with these cliffs beside you. I never knew Central Washington had so much to offer in terms of beauty. It was very jaw-dropping at some point in times when you weren't absolutely battling in the wind. At this point in time, I turned off of a major highway onto this hill. I am climbing here. You guys, the wind is blowing directly in my face, and I am going 4 miles an hour. 4. I'm so lucky I didn't tip over just from fatigue and the wind. Really long gravel stretch for about from about probably 20 miles to go to about 10 miles to go. I would guess it would be that is probably about 10 miles long. It felt longer than that. It felt brutal. I was strong at the first part of it, and I found myself with a rider behind me quite a bit of time. He was really kind, really apologetic, saying he didn't have any energy left in the tank, said he'd listen to the podcast, all those types of things. I kind of pulled him along for a while, and then I just pulled the cord. I just ran out of complete juice. I didn't fuel enough probably in the last hour, which led to my complete destruction. Made it all the way back in, finished I think somewhere in the 50s or 60s, something like that. A good while down from the leaders, but I had a great time out there and things were great.
71, 7-1. Nice job, thank you. It's a bit blustery out there. Whoa! You're my hero. Oh!
Yeah, I locked up.
I'm never getting off this bike.
Yeah,
I can't.
You live here?
Can you guys get a saw and cut it out from under me?
This is a good position. You can't stand up.
Oh. Done, sir. That was harder than 3 years ago.
Honestly, I kept
That course was better, but
multiple times I thought you were gonna die.
You guys probably had people to ride with?
No, mostly us. Yeah.
Really?
it was mostly us doing the
We kept
pulling.
like stopping to pee and then we'd like catch back up.
I gotta swing like.
My takeaways from this gravel fondo / race. Number one, somebody conned me into finally running 40 pounds pressure in both front and rear tires, and I feel like an idiot for not doing that ever before. The wash washboard bumps were nothing. My shoulders felt great. My back felt great. I felt strong the whole time. Even on the road section, I didn't feel like I was riding in mud or riding thick. I always fear that with tires and running low pressures, that it's going to be this huge weight, almost like riding with the brakes on. None of that. I am finally falling into line and believing that the lower tire pressures, especially for this type of situation, are brilliant. The ride that I thought was 6,000 feet of climbing was actually over 7,000 feet of climbing. The ride that I was hoping to do between 5 and 6 hours was just a hair over 6 hours, but the conditions were different this year. This is such a brutal but great early season effort to put out there. Big thanks to the people at Vicious Cycles for putting this on. They do a whole series of these types of events throughout the year in the Northwest, well, in the state of Washington. Check them out. Check out their website, Vicious Cycle Events, I think, something like that. You'll be able to find it, sign up for some of those, and maybe we'll see you out there. But it took me a while to recover from that one. Great race.